Good morning, teacher. Good morning, classmates. Today, my group is going to talk about skeletal systems. My group is conformed by Melissa Borja, Denis Carrasco, Ani Cedeño, Sara Chicaiza, Mabel Córdoba, Mariela Cunduye, and myself, Andrea Bustillos. As content, we have skeletal system introduction, skeletal structure, functions, and skull bones, cervical vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, and lumbar vertebrae, thoracic cage, appendicular skeleton, and pectoral girth, and finally upper limb, pelvic girdle, and lower limb. Introduction. In total, the human skeletal system consists of a whopping of 206 bones. In addition to all of those bones, the human skeletal system includes a network of tendons, ligaments, and cartilage that connect the bones together. Infants are born with about 300 separate bones. As a child grows, some of those bones fuse together until growth stops, typically by the age of 25, leaving the skeleton with 206 bones. Structure. Our bones are separated into two categories based on the purpose and location of the bones. The actual skeleton contains 80 bones, including the skull, spine, and rib cage. The remaining 126 bones make up the appendicular skeleton. They include the arms, legs, short girdle, and pelvic girdle. Also, bones are further classified by their shape. Long bones are found in the arms, legs, fingers, and toes. These bones are longer than they are wide and are cylindrical. Short bones are found in the wrist and ankles and are about equal in their length, width, and thickness. Flat bones make up the skull, shoulder blades, sternum, and ribs. These curved, thin bones protect internal organs and provide an anchor for muscles. Sesamoid bones are found in the hand, wrist, feet, ears, and knees. These small round bones are embedded in tendons and protect them from the great pressure and force they encounter. Irregular bones are those in the spinal cord and face, which because of the unique dimensions don't fit in any of the other shape categories. Functions. The skeletal system provides the structural support, protects internal organs. Other several vital functions are that produce blood cells, store and release fat and minerals, and facilitates movement. Skull bones. The skull can be subdivided into a roof and a base. Cranial roof, comprised of the frontal, occipital, and two parietal bones. It is also known as the calvarium. Cranial base, comprised of the frontal, sphenoid, ethmoid, occipital, parietal, and temporal bones. These bones articulate with the first cervical vertebrae, named atlas, the facial bones, and the mandible, the jaw.
Spinal column, cervical vertebrae. These are the vertebrae that form the neck region. There are a total of 7 cervical vertebrae. Numbers 1 to 7. The cervical vertebrae are the smallest and lightest and are destined to allow a wide range of motion, such as turning and bending the hip. Thoracic vertebrae. These are the vertebrae that correspond to the chest region. There are 12 thoracic vertebrae. Number 1 to 12, the thoracic vertebrae. Protect the internal organs and support the rib cage.
These are the vertebrae of the lower back region. There are 5 number vertebrae, number L1 through L5. The lumbar vertebrae are the largest and the strongest as they support most of the body weight and allow flexion and extension movements.
The thoracic cage. The thoracic cage, also known as the rib cage, is the osteocartilaginous structure that encloses the thorax. It is formed by the 12 thoracic vertebrae, 12 pairs of ribs and associate costal cartilages and the sternum. The sternum is a flat bone that lies in the center of the thorax and made up of 3 smaller fused bones, manubra, the body, and xiphoid process. There are 12 pairs of ribs protruding from the vertebrae through ribs, with 7 pairs false ribs from the 8th rib to the 10th rib, floating ribs, 11th and 12th rib. The main function of the thoracic cage is to support thorax and protect the viral structure when the rigid structure of the cage allows it to be an attachment point for many muscles of the upper limbs. The appendicular skeleton is composed of the upper and lower extremities, which include the shoulder girdle and pelvis.
Function of appendicular skeleton. Pectoral girdle. Its function to ensure and support the upper limbs. Pelvis girdle. It provides attachment to the lower limbs. The upper limbs, it helps in the head moving to perform various activities. The lower limbs, they are weight bearing bone and support the entire structure of the body while walking, jumping, and running. Characteristic includes the limb bones, pelvis, and shoulder girdle. Contains more bones than the actual skeleton, made up around 128 bones. 4 types: long bones, short bones, flat bones, and irregular bones. Pectoral girdle. It is composed of the clavicular or scapula, which together give structure to the shoulders, thus attaching the upper limbs to the actual skeleton. Clavicle has a sternal and where it is attached to the manubrium and acromial and which attaches to the scapula. Scapula is a thin, flat, roundly triangular bones and has 3 borders. The superior, the medial or vertebral, and lateral or axillary.
Superior member. The upper limb on the human body is these shared limbs, which are attached on the upper part of the thigh. It is characterized, it is mobile and ability, manipulate, and jolt. Shoulder girdle. It is comprised of the bones in the clavicle and the scapula. To each side, with feet on the upper limbs, on the upper part of the thigh, of the lever of the shoulders. Arms. Arms in the langars and the most volume bones. The arms informed and its anterior side by flexor muscles. It is made and unal and reduced. It is articulate and in its proximal portion with the humer and the distal portion within the carpals. Hand. Phalanges distal, middle and proximal. Metacarpal bones. The fifth bones the make up the middle part of the hand. Carpal bones. The 8 bones make in the ribs.
Pelvic girth. The main functions of the pelvic cavity are to support the weighting of the upper body, assist in the walking, protect the lower abdominal and pelvic viscera, and in the case of women, facilitate childbirth.
The main difference between the male and pelvis and followers. The pelvis of women is wider and lower compared to what men. The upper opening in the male pelvis is wider and circular in shape, while in the male pelvis it is narrow and similar in shape to her.
The sacrum is less curved forward in men than in men. The female pelvic is arched forward and is wider, while the male is taller, narrowed, and closed. The subpelvic angles are more open in the female pelvic to facilitate childbirth. Lower femur. It is the strongest and longest bone in the body. It is occupies the space between the hip and knee. In the lower extremity, it articulates with the coxal bone. Femur, the part is femoral head, neck femoral, right trochanter, least trochanter, femoral shaft, lateral epicondyle, adductor tubercle, medial epicondyle, lateral condyle, and medial condyle. Tibia. It is the longest bone of the lower leg and least medial to the fibula. It supports the weight of the leg. It is the second longest after the femur. You have 3 parts: proximal tibia, diaphysis of the tibia, distal tibia. The part is lateral condyle, medial condyle, tibial tuberosity, tibial sheath bone y medial malleolus. Fibula. It is the longest and deepest bone located lateral in the lower leg. It has a distal end and a proximal end. The part is head of fibula, fibula, y lateral malleolus. Foot bone. Similar to the head bone tarsus, made of 7 bones, called tarsus metatars with 5 long metatars. Number 4 medial to lateral 1 to 5 phalanges. We have 14 phalanges. In the feet, similar to those of the hand. Tars. There are 7 they are calcaneus, talus, navicular, cuboid, and tricuniforms. Talus connect to the tibia and fibula. Calcaneus for the head, navicular, both shaped, cuboid tricuniforms, medial, intermedial, and lateral. Metatars and phalanges. This bone help maintain balance. They are 14 phalanges, 3 on each finger, except in the first phalange where they are only 2. Toe bones phalanges proximal, medial, and distal.
Thank you.
Thank you.